remote moisture sensors, satellite-based mapping, GPS-equipped combines. The American farm sometimes looks a lot like Silicon Valley. And it's nothing new. Technology and data-based farming have been transforming our food system since its beginnings. Take the cotton gin, a revolution at the time. It took U.S. cotton production from 3,000 bales in 1790 to 1 million bales in 1835. And the U.S. Department of Agriculture has promoted data-based farming since the early 1900s, when they ran a national weather forecasting system and distributed millions of crop reports. Today, California's Central Valley has some of the most sophisticated farms in the world. Ted Shealy has been an early adopter of technology for decades. He and his son Zach farm thousands of acres in the Central Valley, and they rely on high-tech equipment to produce their crops. Because while the soil and sunshine are pretty perfect, lately one of a farmer's most valuable commodities has been drying up.
It costs money for the water itself, it costs money to pump the water and to deliver water to the plant. Water is our most expensive input when we grow the crops.
It's long past harvest time at the pistachio orchard, but Zach Shealy still has water on the brain.
This is actually a desert. We get less than 10 inches of water a year, and so the only way that we can grow these trees or any of our other crops is through irrigation.
Across the U.S., about 128 billion gallons of water are used for irrigation every day. That's enough to fill more than 2.5 billion bathtubs. But drought and water restrictions have made irrigation an increasingly expensive proposition in the Central Valley. The Shealy's water has to be pumped almost 350 miles from the Shasta Dam in Northern California. Every drop counts. So to make sure their system is as efficient as possible, Zach Shealy takes advantage of the off-season to do some maintenance.
We're headed out to the area of the field where the trees are smaller and they're using less water. So when trees are overwatered, they don't grow as well and they actually don't produce as much fruit and it wastes water. So we cut down the amount of water here by plugging off the emitters with this self-bonding tape. And we made it bright red because it was kind of a new thing. No one had ever done it before, so we wanted to make sure that if we didn't like it, we could take it off and find them.
Out of this entire field of pistachios, Shealy is able to pick out individual trees that will benefit from taping off a couple of tiny watering holes. But on a farm of some 10,000 acres, how can he know when just one or two of his flock need special care?
I developed an app.
That's right, Zach Shealy developed an app to help manage the family farm.
It takes information like the field where it's located, the type of irrigation system, how it's run through the field, and it puts it all on a mobile device.
It's called LandView, and using aerial imagery, it lets farmers layer data about their fields on one screen. Soil samples are matched up with vegetation maps and irrigation system blueprints. The resolution is so good, Shealy can check in on a single tree.
Now I can check how does that relate to the soil on the ground, or how does that relate to the irrigation system? How does that relate to maybe a break in the irrigation system that I had?
All farmers rely on the layers of data that form the building blocks of Shealy's app. But this is a new way of using that information for day-to-day farm management. And while it may seem a little odd for a farmer to walk through his fields with an iPad in hand, Shealy is just the latest in a long line of agricultural innovators.
I think to be competitive in agriculture in particular, U.S. farmers are very entwined with technology. So on this farm, we produced 1,000 pounds more of pistachios per acre this year than we ever had in the past. We're evolving in our agricultural practices and we're becoming better. We're getting better at what we're doing.